What is up? What is up? What is up? What is up, awesome people of the internet? Hello, hello, hello. Happy Sunday, everyone. Happy, as I'm calling it, Super Sunday, everyone. Today is a great day in basketball. We have seen one upset. We've seen some great games, and we got a lot to talk about, guys. So we're gonna get into it. So there's a lot of games today. A lot. And maybe you're like, I couldn't keep up with everything, so I know about a couple games. I don't know about all the games. So we're gonna talk about all of the I would say relevant games, or not to say that every game isn't relevant, but there are. I do want to go into the top 25 ranked teams. I want to talk about their games today. We're gonna get into. We're gonna sort of kind of give you a lowdown of what we're gonna talk about. We're gonna talk about the LSU game. We're gonna talk about how I think Hailey has gotten her groove back a little bit, and why potentially we may see some great things from LSU. We're gonna talk about South Carolina and them sort of having a sort of rough start to their game against Ole Miss, but of course, like the champs they are, they were able to get back into it and dominate in that game against Ole Miss. We're gonna also talk about the fact that Kamilla Cardoso will be missing the next two games, so that is a thing. We're gonna talk about UCLA just getting demolished against Stanford today, and how Stanford has also gotten their groove back from their loss against USC on Friday. There's a lot of stuff that we're gonna there are a lot of stuff that we're gonna get into. UConn won their game. Ohio State is back, y'all. Cody McMahon is something serious, and yeah, a lot more to talk about. So we are going to get into it. I do just want to say hello. I hope y'all are having a great a great Sunday. I should say happy Super Sunday. Let me know what you all have done today. What did you do today? Not like basketball related. Sure, what games did you watch? How was your Sunday? All right, so let's get into it. I do want to just look at y'all comments real quick. Kentucky Lucky says Ohio State held on to beat Indiana. They're moving up. Great team play. LSU finally gets its groove on. South Carolina again. Second half takes for the win. Yep. Bree Wayne says Van Lith back to shooting guard. Yeah, it looks like it. Yeah, it looks like it. Not full time, but it does look like last year Poa is going to be a main point guard going forward. Let's see. Nolan says, what a performance and an opportunity for South Carolina to address early foul trouble. Yep. Also love the crowd lit up when freshie Sanaya Ja entered the game late in the fourth. Joseph said K-State gonna move down. Yeah, they are. They really are. Yep. They're gonna go down like a rock. What's up, Matthew? What's up, JB? Yes, Donovan, you're right. LSU did finally find their offensive groove. Yeah, Ka. UCLA. Yeah. Yeah, today did prove the fact that UCLA really needs Lauren Betts. Yeah. Lauren Betts was still out today. We're gonna talk specifically about UCLA more in just a sec. But first, I think we are going to just give you all a quick update as to what has happened today. I do want to just go down the list and let you know generally the games that happened today, and also I do want to get into I do want to get into the specific game. So first let's just look at the games that are happening so far. So this is the list of games that have sort of featured top 25 teams. So South Carolina beat Ole Miss 85-56. Kamilla Cardoso did her thing, even though she experienced some early foul trouble in that game. Also, Madison Scott did her thing as well. But the first half, due to foul trouble and whatnot, Ole Miss was staying in this. And this was one of those games where Last year, Ole Miss and South Carolina played against each other. The game went to overtime. It was very, very close. South Carolina did eke out the win last year. And this year, we were like, okay, well, what is Ole Miss going to look like against South Carolina? They held their own, but as the game went on, it was just the separation started. And it started in, I would say, like sort of the end of the second quarter. And I feel like when South Carolina scores like late in the second quarter, to me that just gives them momentum into the second half and for the third and fourth quarter. So they put their foot on the gas and got ahead real quick against Ole Miss and ended up winning that game 85-56. For Kansas State, they lost against Texas. They lost 61-54. Madison Booker, y'all, she's something serious, and she continues to show y'all the Big 12, in terms of freshmen. Yes, it's about Madison Booker. She's doing her thing. She is doing her thing, running the point for this team. A role that yes, she's played it in high school and whatnot, but she wasn't planning on playing point guard for Texas. Rory Harmon, when she went down, Madison Booker took over, and she's been doing a really good job. So Texas beat K-State. K-State still does not have Owusu Lee. She will be out for several more weeks. And it's clear that K-State really does need Owusu Lee to be on the court because they were kind of torched in the paint. There were a lot of paint points. There were a lot of missed rebounds that K-State couldn't grab because of Texas and their ability to get down low and score the basketball. UCLA just lost against Stanford, a pretty bad loss. They lost 80-60. Cameron Brink is just, she's very good. She had how many points did she have? She had 19 points. I think she had 20 rebounds. She had 6 blocks. Once again, Cameron Brink is just letting people know that she is something serious, and her and Kiki Iraofen are just fun to watch. Oh, I'm sorry. Correction. Cameron Brink had 19 rebounds. She had 19 points, 19 rebounds, and she had 7 blocks. It's just amazing. It's just really, really amazing to watch her play. She's just fun. She's just a very, very fun player to watch. And her and Kiki Iraofen is just phenomenal. It's a phenomenal 1-2 punch. We saw Colorado face Washington earlier today, and Colorado won. Aaronette Vonleh did her thing. Colorado won 80-57. We also saw Ohio State play Indiana. Ohio State, they're back. They won 74-69. JC Sheldon did her thing, but the person I really want to focus on is the fact that Ohio State is back because of Cody McMahon. Cody McMahon, great player. JC Sheldon, great player as well. But I feel like over the last couple of games, Cody McMahon has gotten her groove back, and it's scary times in the Big Ten. It really is scary times in the Big Ten when you have players just dominating like JC, like Cody for Ohio State. Let's see. Who else we got? We got LSU versus Florida. LSU won 106-66. We're going to get into that more in just a sec, so I'm not going to spend that much time on that. But Hailey Van Lith did her thing. Aalyah Matharu did her thing as well. We saw UConn play St. John's. That game was actually kind of close throughout, and I had 4 games up on YouTube TV, and I was sort of like looking in the side, just sort of like, okay, well, is UConn going to lose this game? I mean, yes, they weren't losing, but the game was so close, and St. John was playing, pretty well, and that I was wondering. But Aaliyah Edwards did her thing. She had 33 points in this game, and UConn went on to win 78-63. Let's sort of talk about some of the other games real quick. We saw Baylor beat Houston 83-60. We saw Notre Dame beat Pitt 78-53. Hannah Hidalgo continues to do her thing. We saw USC beat Cal 79-69. And Juju Watkins, yes, she had 51 points the other day. Now she just casually gets 29 points. Just casually scoring. We saw Virginia Tech have a very, very close game against North Carolina. I actually thought that North Carolina would pull out the win, but it went to overtime, and Georgia Amor did her thing. The final score was 70-61 in overtime. Shout out to Deja Kelly. I thought she played very well as well. We saw Utah beat Washington State 73-61. And Syracuse beat Boston College 75-63. And also Creighton beat Butler as well, 75-65. So that is your quick roundup of all the stuff that happened today. Yes, there's more games that I didn't cover, but that's the general gist of everything that happened today. So if you're like, I couldn't watch all those games, that's a quick wrap up for you. I am going to get into the specifics of some of these games, and we are going to start with who we're going to start with. I think maybe we will start with let's start with LSU. All right, let's start with LSU. So LSU played Florida today, and this game, LSU was on it. LSU was on it, I think, because they got severely embarrassed, losing 2 games in a row. And 2, it felt like Hailey Van Lith has finally gotten her groove back. We saw in this game, Hailey Van Lith did her thing. She had 21 points in this game. It wasn't just the points, I would say. It was the whole, it seemed to be her whole attitude about this game. So it wasn't just like, okay, when I score, now I'm good, now I'm happy, and all this other stuff. It was the fact that it felt like Hailey went more to her natural space, to where she was last year in terms of on the wing, ready to go, hands are ready to get the ball and get a shot up. She didn't have that as much pressure on her today because she played a lot of the game off ball. Yeah, sure, she was point guard for the beginning of the game and different points throughout the game, but Poa was able to come in and play that point, even with Hailey in at the same time. And I thought that showed a lot of promise for this team. LSU had 106, so a lot of points. This was the most points that the LSU has ever scored in an SEC game, so that was a big deal. And I would just say, overall, Hailey Van Lith looked a lot more comfortable on defense, which she's not known for defense, but I will say I thought that her defensive intensity was pretty good. I thought that all of LSU's defensive intensity was really good. And this is one of those things where I guarantee you Bob Starkey went in on them, about those last couple of games, and hey, y'all, you can't do this. You need to hustle. You need to play hard. And they showed up. And they did their thing. So I would just say that I thought overall LSU looked very good. And I would say also Hailey Van Lith looked like she returned offensively back to where she was at LSU. I mean, at Louisville, because it seems like she's more trying to be herself, which is good. I think that's a really good thing. Also, I do want to say a huge shout out to Chicagoan Anissa Morrow just continues to ball out. She had 18 points in this game, 20 rebounds in this game. And just once again, Anissa Morrow is just showing that she can do it all. She can stretch you out and hit a 3. She can get her mid-range shot. She can get to the paint and score. Also, she got you on rebounds as well. So I would just say overall, Anissa was just, she was Anissa. She was Anissa in this game. We've seen this before from her, and she just continues to show that, even though she's short, I mean, she's not the tallest person, especially playing the position that she plays. She's only 6'1", and for her to be such a rebound magnet is just, it's kind of cool to see. It really is cool to see. So I did want to just talk about that. After the game, there was a press conference, and Hailey spoke to sort of feeling a lot more comfortable. And I wanted to highlight that because I thought I thought that there was a change, just sort of watching this game. And from the press conference, like Hailey agrees that there is a difference. There is a difference in this game and how she feels like she is returning back to herself. So I do want to pull that up real quick, and we're gonna see that, and we're gonna talk about it a little bit. All right, so this is going to be Hailey Van Lith talking about the game today. All right. All right. Like so this is. Hold up. Seems like I'm playing audio somewhere else.
The guard rotations worked today.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've wanted Poa to get in the game a little bit more, and she came with a good mindset today. She played hard. She played defense. She was Poa, and that allows me to move to the 2 and get some 2. But also when we were in together, I think we did a great job of, sometimes when she was in, I would bring the ball up and still play the 1. And I think if we can continue to build on that, it'll make us really dangerous because we can play really fast. And it's hard to guard us in transition. So I think if we can continue to use that to our advantage, it's going to help us.
Hailey, you said you decided to be yourself. Have you not felt like yourself lately? And what what kind of player are you, and what kind of player do you want to be?
Yeah, I mean, I think obviously I haven't been completely myself. I've had moments, but I think mostly what I'm trying to say is I've been inconsistent. I've had games where I'm myself, and then the next game I don't play like myself, and that's on me. Like, that's not on anyone besides me. It's my job to bring it every game, and I've accepted that responsibility, and it's time to move forward. And it's not even today I scored. It's not even about that. I think. Like, the rebounds is what I think showed, like, my aggression. Like, I went into rebound, and I played defense, and I had energy. And so I don't even care about the points. I think it's mostly just, like, the attitude and the competitiveness that I can bring to the table. It'll help our team. Like, I have to bring it, or we're not going to reach our potential. So it's on me to continue to do that.
All right, so that is what Hailey Van Lith had to say. And yeah, that was what she had to say. And I thought that, like, after the game was over, I kind of felt a similar way. Like, she's playing back to the way she should have been playing this whole time. She's like, okay, well, I'm just gonna be like myself. I'm not gonna worry about necessarily being the point guard or anything like that. I am going to be the Hailey Van Lith of old, with a little bit of extra added defense. And I don't know. I thought it was good. I thought it was good to see, because this is a player that was really, really good before. And it's good that she's, I would say, returning to the way, she was before. Let's see what y'all got to say. Let's see. She is Bree Wayne says Morrow is better than Reese, especially with her range of play. I mean, yes. Aneesah Morrow has range when shooting. Angel Reese doesn't really. Angel Reese could get the occasional jumper here and there, but for the most part, Aneesah Morrow got jumpers down pat. She can also hit some threes as well. Not the most efficient at 3, but she looks pretty good from 3. I believe she hit 2 today, I believe, for Aneesah Morrow. So yeah, that's for sure a thing. Drew said she's a 25% 3-point shooter, but she started this season off at 8, so it's a big improvement. Yeah. Let's see. RC says UCLA is making me upset, y'all. At this point, I trust my Hawkeyes more. I mean, RC, your UCLA team is without their best player. I mean, like, come on. Come on. Give them some slack a little bit. Give them some slack. Drew says hit that like button, y'all. So please listen to Drew and hit that like button. That would be most appreciated. Thank you very much. RC said, Hailey Van Leff, I need you to turn the clock back. KRL says they look good. The only thing I wish is that Flau'jae won't ball hog and pass more. I mean, I think the whole team could use to pass a little bit more. I feel like the main one who was like super like pass ready is Angel Reese, and the rest of them, yeah, they could use to pass the ball more. Let's see what else I got to say. Let's see. Jimmy says, I don't like the idea of we've been waiting for Poa. She's done everything that was asked of her. Okay, well, okay. I could see that. I don't know. I didn't think too much about the comment, but yeah, fair enough. Fair enough, Jimmy. Bree Wayne says she saw that draft stock dipping. Probably. Probably. She probably talked to some people that were like, hey, they're not gonna be checking for you if you keep playing like this. So yeah, probably you are probably right, Bree Wayne. That she saw it dropping because WNBA teams are probably looking at her like, I don't know. Let's see. Nolan says LSU's got a tough game on Thursday. Vanderbilt is playing good ball. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Ronald says the LSU team that showed up today will be the team coming for South Carolina. I want LSU to be the only team to beat South Carolina. Well, Ronald, I assume you're LSU fan. I assume you're LSU fan. But yeah, they may play each other. These teams may play each other in the SEC tournament. We will see. They also could play each other in the NCAA tournament as well. But this LSU team is much better. And also in terms of like bench play, the bench got in a little bit more. Yes, because they were winning by such a large margin, but like they played okay. Like the extended bench played okay. Kojo said, I just hit that like button. Thank you so much, Kojo. Appreciate you. Talicia says, we will see when they play a more quality team. No shade to Florida. I mean, fair enough. Florida is not the best team in the SEC at all. So fair enough. Yes. But it does look promising for them. It does look a bit promising. So that is something at least. All right. Let's see what else y'all got to say. Shree says, I just got home from South Carolina versus Ole Miss game. It was a good one, completely sold out. Yeah, I mean that looked like a good game. Shree, where were you sitting? Where were you sitting in the game? I thought that overall South Carolina. Oh, actually, Shree, question for you. For the people who were actually at that South Carolina game, did y'all know what was going on when Markeisha, I forgot her last name, when her hairpiece came out? Like, did y'all know what was going on with that? I mean, on TV, I could immediately tell what was happening. But did y'all have any confusion about what was going on at that point? It was like at the beginning of the first quarter. Also, we're going to get into that, but that is just, to me, that just shows some huge class for South Carolina, and them looking out for her and huddling around her and whatnot. But we'll get into that more in a sec. But shout out to South Carolina for that. I thought that was pretty great. Let's see. Marcus says, I really do have Hailey Van Lith's back because I felt bad for her getting all the slander she's been getting and whatnot. Hopefully today is the beginning of a new leaf. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. We will absolutely see. Shree says ESPN didn't mention Reese at all in the recap. What is up with that? I don't know. I don't know, Shree. I don't know, Shree. To be honest, I didn't pay attention to the ESPN recap, so I have no idea. I don't even have any guesses as to why. I don't know who they focus on for LSU. I mean, I would assume they focused on Anissa Murrow because she did her thing today. They probably focused on Mikaylah Williams, I would assume, and then Hailey Van Lith because she showed up today. I thought Angel Reese did her thing. Angel Reese, like, she was efficient and she passed the ball around. She got players involved. She had 6 assists today. Like, I have seen Angel Reese be a extremely willing passer, and today it was just that the passes that she did, they ended up making the shots. You know, there's a lot of times where she does great passes and they miss, or ends up being like a hockey assist of some sort. And I thought today Angel Reese did her thing. You know, was efficient shooting wise. She was 4 of 6. And she got some rebounds. She passed the ball around, and all around, you know, she's a good player. She stayed out of foul trouble, which was good. But yeah, I thought Angel Reese had a good game. Yes, to me, the story about this game for LSU was the fact that they actually played some defense. It was the fact that Anissa Murrow continues to do Anissa Murrow things and just balls out of control. It was the fact that Mikaylah Williams, again, is just doing her thing and not necessarily playing like a freshman. And it's the fact that Hailey Van Lith is back. And it seems that she played a lot better than she's played so far this year. And you know, she's playing in that true guard position on the wing, which is probably a lot more comfortable for her. And has led to more results today. However, today's game was against Florida, so you know, can't read too much into it. But yeah, I thought that was something that should be noted. Dwayne says LSU needs to play like this on the road for me to be a believer. Go Gamecocks. Facts. They do need to play. They need to play like this on the road. Yes. 10 says, so glad I finally made it to a live. I'm always catching the videos. Well, thank you so much, 10. I'm happy you were able to catch a live as well. Low key says, but why do people want to switch Johnson out to Flau'jae, Johnson out to point guard? That's just taking someone out of position again. Well, fair. But yeah, but if you can have either Poa, Hailey Van Lith, or Mikaylah Williams playing that point guard position and just sort of doing it by committee, I think you're good. But Keegan says, what are your thoughts on LSU's bench? I thought overall it was okay. You know, we saw last year Poa do her thing. You know, she's their 6th man, so she did her thing today. I thought Del Rosario, there was a particular play where Del Rosario got the ball, tried to make a layup, missed it, got her own rebound, and then got it back in and got the foul. And she was like, she was like acting all tough after that. And I was like, go ahead, Del Rosario, because Del Rosario is a player who was super talented in college, but has not really shown a fight, I would say. She showed a lot of greatness in high school, but in college so far, you know, she's a freshman, and she hasn't really shown that fight to me. But to me, that play, that was like, okay, she has a little bit of a dog in her. Okay, all right, Del Rosario, let's see what you're gonna do. So to me, I thought that was good. I really did think that was good. In terms of the other bench players, you know, Kent got in the game. She played okay. You know, I thought that you know, she didn't do anything that could really mess her up, you know. So yeah, I thought she played okay. So to me, Poa was great. She really was. Del Rosario showed some toughness today. That I haven't really seen that much of her. And so I thought that was impressive. Kent got in the game and was pretty decent. And the rest of the bench, I mean, I have no real thoughts about the rest of the bench. But yeah. Hopefully that answers your question, Keegan. Sheree said they focused on Morrow and Van Lith. Oh, in terms of the ESPN coverage. Okay. Michael says, did y'all hear Gus Johnson cuss during the Iowa Maryland game Saturday? Yes. that guy is kind of funny. that guy is kind of funny. It wasn't just the fact that he I think he said she got her ish blocked, but he didn't say ish, he said the actual word. He called himself afterwards. It wasn't just that, it was like some of the stuff that he was saying. I was just like, man. Okay, quick segue to that Iowa game. So they are doing some sort of like Caitlin Clark focus thing. I forgot exactly what it was called, Road to History or something like that for Caitlin Clark, where every other word is Caitlin Clark related. It's just like I get why they're doing it. I get it because Caitlin Clark drives people to watch and whatnot. It's kind of like a similar thing to it's not quite the same, but I kind of equate it the same to an NFL game when like the Kansas City Chiefs are playing and you see every time Travis Kelce does something, like scores a touchdown or gets a catch or like whatever, they put a camera in the they have a camera on Taylor Swift to see her reaction to like whatever it is. Like they have a Taylor cam for NFL games when Kansas City is playing, and to me. And they do it because they know that since Taylor Swift started dating Travis Kelce, the ratings for the NFL games have been up. Kansas City like merch sales have been up. The viewership has been up. Like she's made a lot of difference in terms of more folks paying attention, and because of that, they're like, even if the announcers don't really want to do it, they know they have to continue to talk about Taylor Swift. Just because it brings more fans. And I would say in a similar way in women's basketball, that similar thing is happening with Caitlin Clark, where it's constantly about Caitlin Clark. It's just like it's a little bit too much. However, I get it because I know that there is a contingent of people who are watching solely because of Caitlin Clark. And if the networks believe that's going to keep them watching and supporting women's basketball, okay, I'm all for it. But it is a little bit awkward. Like it is a little bit awkward. That's all I'm gonna say. But shout out to her. Also, she has been like having lots of security with her. It seemed like 2 or 3 people with her in that last game. Like as she was sort of walking off. Let's see. Michelle says, hey, with all the people here, can Quita get some more likes? At least half the people here. Yes. Michelle. Thanks Michelle for advocating for me. So we got 197 people in the chat right now. We got 68 likes. If we can get to 100 likes, that would be really, really awesome. That'd be about half that, a little bit over half of people to do it. Let's see. What else we got to say? JB says, facts on Angel passing more this year and the shots just falling today. Flashback to the no-look pass to hitting Van Lith versus Bama and she... Yes. Yes, that was such a good pass. And Hailey Van Lith missed it. And I guarantee you, Angel would not let her live that down. Because that was such a great pass. It really was. Michael says passing might be one of Angel's best offensive skills. She's really, really good at passing. Really, really, really good. Malik says, of course, Hailey Van Lith is going to say she feels like herself. They want, well, fair enough. If they beat Vanderbilt, I'll be impressed. Yes, they do play Vanderbilt coming up, and so yeah, that's going to be a way tougher game for them than this Florida game. No shade to Florida, but that'll be a way tougher game for them. So if we see the same LSU for that game, then okay, that's really saying something. Marcus said, yeah, but she had a great game. I can't imagine how they felt after all the criticism that came her way. She has gotten a lot of criticism. I mean, and it's newsworthy. She was one of the top players in the country last year, number one transfer prospect when she decided to go to LSU. So of course, what she does is going to get a lot of eyeballs on it. It's going to have a lot of people talking about it. And that's a thing. That's a thing that you kind of have to just live with, All right, let's see what else I got to say. Let's see. King Aspie says, happy to see Aalyah Owusu back, and she's killing it already with Penn State. Also, they only lost one game since she came back. And what are your thoughts on Aalyah and Penn State now? Yeah, so Penn State is a team that I don't know. I would say wasn't great. But since Aalyah Owusu has came back, they have been looking very good. So Aalyah Owusu, for those who don't know, she transferred to Penn State, but she wasn't able to suit up for the team because of it was some sort of transfer rules, because she had already transferred previously, and they were gonna have her like sit out for the rest of the game. I mean, for this season, and then she could play next season. But there was a ruling in the courts that allowed her to come back and actually play this season. And so also she was dealing with some sort of injury of some sort as well. So I think it all kind of worked out. But since Aalyah Owusu has been back, Penn State has been balling. Aalyah Owusu is one of those players that, like, I don't know, I would kind of call her a unconventional player of sorts. She's someone who can get to the basket. She's someone who can get a jumper off. She's someone who can just ball. can just score points. If you need someone to score some points, Aalyah Owusu is probably going to do it for you. So yeah, I think she's great. I think the fact that Penn State actually has her on the court, I think they're actually going to make some noise. I mean, make some noise in terms of like winning more games, not in terms of like actual tournament play or anything like that. But for sure, in terms of just winning some games and looking impressive and actually being a team that is like super, super watchable, I think Aalyah Owusu has helped them on that front. I think she's averaging like 18 points a game. And so she's doing her thing. So shout out to Aalyah Owusu and Penn State, though they did lose today. They played what? Who did they play? Who did they play today? They played Michigan today, and they lost. They lost 80-75. Drew said it's not like it's LSU's fault for their bench. Samaya is out and Kateri is gone. So we'd have a pretty big bench if that didn't happen. Well, yeah. But I mean, injuries happen, things happen. A lot of players have gotten injured this season. Yes, LSU has been affected, but also Texas, also Washington State, UCLA, Notre Dame, like UConn, like you can sort of go on and on and on about all the teams that have been affected by injuries this year. Hakeem says nobody wants to play LSU if they end up the 4th seed. They will F a lot of brackets up. They haven't hit their stride yet. Possibly, yeah. Michael says the Caitlyn Cam was over the top, and I say that as a Caitlyn fan. Marcus says, I thought the Caitlyn Cam was fine, but the thing that was slightly annoying was that they showed that stat line graphic a ton. Yeah, it was up basically the entire game. It was like sort of like at the bottom, like right above the score. It like had Caitlyn's like score like points. So yeah. Sheree didn't realize that they had a Caitlyn Cam. Michelle said it's sickening. KA is ready for next season. Elmira said the Iowa versus Maryland game was quite good. Maryland is still at risk of not making the tournament, though. They showed fight, but Iowa is hard to keep up with. Michael said, yes, they had a camera 100% on Caitlyn on TikTok if you wanted to watch her. What? They had a Caitlyn cam on TikTok for the entire game, Michael? Wow. That's wild. Tavizi says, everyone is just so shocked to see a white girl who can hoop for real. Felicia said Iowa struggle versus Maryland to me. I mean, Maryland played better than I thought they were going to play. But in the end, Iowa was just too much for them. But they did play a lot better than I thought. Flora says, when does March Madness start? In March. So we are a couple weeks. Yeah, we were basically a couple weeks away from March Madness starting. Like the first week of March is when most teams are having conference play. And then after that the tournament starts and it's gonna get crazy. So yeah, we got a couple more weeks to go. Cordy TV says Final Four predictions. Won't give those yet. I'm still noodling around on who I think is going to be in the Final Four. So right now, no predictions on that front. Though I may do like a special episode of some sort to talk about Final Four predictions and also just predictions for the NCAA as a whole. And Cordy asked another question saying, Quita, how many teams from each conference make it to the NCAA tournament? I'll do a separate thing about that as well. About the Caitlyn cam, Marcus said I hated that also. Grunge Pa says they mentioned Juju a lot in the Iowa game. Yeah, it felt like they were using. So yes, they were talking about Juju a lot in that game, and it was like, okay, well, Juju just scored 51. I know Caitlyn saw that. Is Caitlyn gonna do the same thing? And it was just like, okay, well, maybe she saw it, maybe she didn't. But it wasn't like, oh wow, women's basketball is on the rise. Look at what Juju Watkins did. It was like, Juju did this. Can Caitlyn do it also? Juju had a 51 point game. Caitlyn had 3 40-point games already. Can she score more than that? And it was just sort of like, okay, well, all right. All right. So that's, you know, I thought it was kind of weird. In a similar way to after that game, where Juju had 51 points, where she was getting interviewed afterwards, and then it was like a sly comment made about Caitlin Clark, and Juju was like, nah, we ain't going that much respect. It's just, I don't know. It's sometimes I wonder about what is said. I sometimes I wonder about what these commentators say. I'm just saying. But shout out to them for calling the games and whatnot. I know that's has to be a very very tough job to do. I can imagine it'd be a very tough job to do. All right. So, question to you all. Do we want to move over to talk about the South Carolina Ole Miss game? Let me know in the chat. Let me know in the chat. Michael said Gus is a great announcer on other sports, but you can tell he's new to women's hoops. Yeah, I feel like I've heard him before. I feel like he's done a couple of women's games this year, but even in the years past, I feel like I've heard him on during other sports before. Cordy says the Caitlin talk is exactly why I hope she declares for the draft, please. I honestly never even heard of her before last year. Oh, really? Really? A says media has always been like that. They try to exploit money. Yeah. I think the media is in the business of making money, so I get it. Low key says all that and that team hasn't hit their stride or gel yet is way over. LOL. March is next month. I think you're talking about LSU. Cherie says Juju scoring 51 points is great, but the overall score for her team was 67. Like, what about the rest of the team? I mean, yeah, but sure, you could say the same thing about Stanford. Stanford only had 58 points in that game. So what about Stanford? I think you'd say the same thing. Marcus says, I've been aware of Caitlin since her freshman year, but she didn't become massive until last year. Yeah, she didn't become massive until last year. I think it was the Iowa game against Louisville in the tournament. And I feel like that game, after that game was over, that's just like she just went through the stratosphere in terms of popularity after that. Caitlin Clark, I mean. Michael says, I wonder if Caitlin Clark wants to come back for another year of this type of circus. I mean, I don't know. I wonder. I really do wonder. Veronica says the commentator told Juju Caitlin who, and she said no. Yeah. All right. Whoa. Krieger is Portland, Jamaica in the building. Wow. Okay. That's awesome. Shout out to Jamaica. All right. So it looks like folks are saying let's move on to South Carolina and Ole Miss. We are going to get into that game. So for those who did not watch, South Carolina beat Ole Miss today in a game that I thought was sort of like the tale of two quarters of sorts. This was the tale of two quarters. It was Ole Miss hanging in there for basically the entire first half, though the separation sort of started, I would say, towards the end of the second quarter. And then you saw South Carolina just sort of take it from there. And South Carolina was just being their normal South Carolina self. It's one of those things where you see a team that is just so good, like South Carolina, just continue to dominate. You saw Kamilla Cardoso getting in some big foul trouble. So she sat for a good amount of the game. And in the second half, she got it going. She got it going and scored some points. And overall, I saw a lot of criticism about the referees. Yeah, fair enough. about the referees. But Cardoso did her thing in the second half. We also saw Watkins getting another start on the game. So Chloe Kitts did play in this game, but she's back. But they had her come off the bench. and her minutes were pretty limited, I would say, in this game. And Ashlyn Watkins just continues to show that she's very, very good. And she continues to show that she is a very capable starter for this team. Now, is she going to start for this team once Chloe Kitts is like fully back? No. Chloe Kitts, yes, she did come off the bench in this game, but going forward, as long as she feels really good, maybe she has another game where she's sort of coming off the bench. But in terms of her being able to play, if she is ready to go, Chloe Kitts is starting over Ashlyn Watkins. However, Ashlyn Watkins is that girl. She's good. She's very, very good. And y'all better watch out. Y'all better watch out because to think that South Carolina has Ashlyn Watkins just coming off the bench. I mean, yesterday she started, but normally just coming off the bench and balling, it's just another feather in the cap for what this team can do. You have Ashlyn Watkins, you have Malaysia Fulwiley, who I thought was very good today. Again, in terms of efficiency, not that great in terms of efficiency. She missed a couple of shots, but overall, I thought she played good as well. Not only offensively, but defensively as well. That's something that I feel like Coach Don Staley has really gotten into Malaysia about, because there was one game earlier in the season where Malaysia barely played in the game, and the cause of her not being able to play was her defensive intensity, and she's really stepped up and showed that, like, hey, I'm gonna play my butt off when it comes to defense, so I can stay in this game, and I thought she did a good job today, but overall, South Carolina is just rolling. They're a second half team, if it seems like, and they're just rolling. They are just rolling. And what can you do? What can you do to stop them? What can you do? But I will say there was a particular play that happened in this game. It happened with like 6 minutes or something like that to go in the first in the first quarter. I think it was Bree Hall. She had the ball. She ended up falling. Foul was called on, I believe, Marquisha Davis. Marquisha fell, and Bree Hall sort of like slipped on her hair, and her piece came off. And it was sort of like, okay, initially it was like, wait, what happened? And then you saw the both South Carolina players on the court and Ole Miss players on the court come together and sort of huddle around her, and while she sort of got herself situated again. And to me, I just thought that was just a good display of, yes, these are competitors. They want to win. They don't like each other on the court because they're like, I'm better than you. I want to beat you and whatnot. But in that moment, it was just sort of like, oh man, I know how it would feel if this happened to me. So let's gather around. Let's make sure this girl is situated, and Don Staley, the camera cut out. I will say shout out to the camera crew for this game, because yes, they were focused on it initially, but it seemed like the director, whoever was directing that game, they were like, okay, let's get out and let's show some other people. Let's show Pow Pow. Let's show Don Staley. Let's show Camila Cardoso. Like, we're not gonna show this anymore because we know what's going on, and we don't want to embarrass Marquisha like that. So I thought that was very classy from South Carolina to huddle around and just sort of like create a visual barrier so people don't really see what's going on. Also, shout out to the camera crew and the director who got the camera people to show different things. I thought that was really good as well. And then like they showed Don Staley kind of looking upset at first. She was like, "What is going on?" And then I guess the referee told her, and she's like, "Oh, okay." So I just thought that was, to me, that was just a great non-basketball moment. Like, yes, fierce competitors want to win, all that good stuff, but they know, you know, uh, they can imagine how they would feel if that happened to them, and they, got around Markeisha while she was able to get herself all together. And I thought that was, really great. I really did. And to me, it just shows class. It really does show class. All right, let's get to y'all. Let's get to y'all comments. 504 for life says, I will say Don be having them players ready to play. They fear her. I mean, it works. I guess it works. I think it's like a sure, they fear disappointing her, but it's all love. I think it's all love between them. Let's see. Shree says, and Quita, we know exactly what happened when it happened, and I'm glad South Carolina players surrounding her, and that's why Coach Yo always say she gets respect in South Carolina. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It was a really good look. It was a really, really good look, especially since a lot of women's basketball players uh wear extensions and wigs and all that good stuff. And this could happen to any of them. This really this is something that can really happen in games. So for them to be looking out, I thought that was really, really great. Robert says, good sportsmanship. I agree. Marcus says, Brink is a dog for real. Yeah, Brink is good. Yes. Bree Wayne says, Brink was blocking shots today. My goodness. Yeah. Yeah. We're gonna get into Brink. Yeah, we're gonna get into Brink in a sec, because she is dominating. Let's see. Robert says Malaysia Fulwiley is getting better every game. I would agree with that. I would absolutely agree with that. Yeah, Bree Wayne says Dawn said she's very proud of Fulwiley's defense. Ronald says Watkins is a beast. She doesn't get enough credit. Yeah, I mean she's very, very good, very, very good. I feel like people talk about Watkins quite a bit, but it could be because I'm so into it that I don't notice the people not talking about her. I feel like she gets a lot of people talking about her. But yeah, she's very, very good, and deserves to be talked about as a player who is going to be very elite, very fast. Let's see. What else with South Carolina? Ernest said both teams are classy with great coaches. Love it. Yeah, absolutely. Ronald says the reality is South Carolina will only lose if they beat themselves. Possibly, yeah. I mean, as I always say, any team can get got. So I totally believe that it's possible for them to lose. Will they lose is another question, but it is absolutely possible for them to lose. Let's see what else we got to say. All right. So, I do want to get into what Coach John Staley talked about after the game was over, because we did find out that Kamilla Cardoso will be missing the next couple of games, and that includes the big game of UConn versus South Carolina. So I want to share what Coach Staley had to say. That's the wrong grab. All right, I'm gonna pull this up on the screen, and we are going to get into it. Just give me 1 second, guys. All right, so this is what Coach Don Staley. had to say about Camila Cardoso. Uh-oh. There we go.
Players, I mean, they're very simple. Like, I mean, we want the best players on our team, and sometimes the best players are the best players that represent another country. And when we recruited her, we said that if there's an opportunity for you to go with your national team, go with your national team. Same with LA. You know, last year going, I mean, last couple of years, she went to, you know, the Canadian national team training camp and competitions, and she's an Olympian. I mean, it only makes us feel good, but we do. I mean, we'll feel our we'll feel the void that Camila leaves with us, but I'm sure all the other post players are really preparing. I think Fagan's been preparing weeks prior to, you know, this happening now, because she knew Camila was going with the national team, so she started doing extra cardio probably for the past month. So, and it was on her. Like, it wasn't something that we said go do extra. It was on her to be ready. So we'll call her number a lot over the next 2 days, and hopefully that builds some confidence with her and just strengthens our front court.
All right, so that is what Coach Don Staley had to say about the fact that their, you know, her star player is going to be out for a couple of games playing for her national team, and the fact that, you know, Don Staley knew that this was going to happen, and she's fine with it, and the rest of her team is going to step up. You know, Fagan is going to step up, and you know, I'm very much interested to see how this team looks, especially against UConn without their best player. I mean, well, not their best player. Their best big, I should say. All right, so let's see what else y'all got to say. I saw some sort of comment about Raven, and I lost it. I lost it somewhere. Here we go. Bad Guy Rob says, I think Raven doesn't get the credit for her leadership. Maybe. I mean, I think Raven has done a good job this year. I feel like I've been talking about Raven Johnson and like how well she's been doing this year. Not just from a scoring perspective, but just her sort of running the team and making sure the people are in the right spot and being very vocal. It seems, at least watching on TV, it seems that way. I think she's been doing a good job. And as a point guard, you know, you may not always get the most shine on your team, but you know, if you're doing something wrong, people are gonna be all on you. So to me, a player like Raven Johnson, shooting when she needs to shoot, passing the ball well, moving the ball around, telling people where to go, like to me, that shows her leadership. Yes, she's not going to be talked about as much as Camila Cardoso, because she's not as tall as Camila Cardoso. You know, she can't jump out the gym like Ashton Watkins. She don't have those crazy handles like Malaysia Fulwiley has. You know, she can't necessarily do the A'ja Wilson sort of fadeaway shot that Chloe Kitts can do. Like, Raven Johnson won't necessarily get the attention that her teammates get, but she's still an extremely talented player and is core to South Carolina's success. So yeah, she may not get the credit that she deserves, but you know, I think she's been doing a really good job this year. And this is as someone who made a video over the summer talking about how her shooting needed to improve. Like, yeah, she was a good point guard and passing the ball, but I wanted to see a little bit more from her in terms of her willingness to shoot, and I feel like I've seen that. So you know, I think she's doing good. let's see what else. Let's see what else I got to say. Robert says South Carolina will win it all. Stay tuned. Okay. Bad guy Rob says Fagan is my girl. Yeah, I mean Fagan is gonna be her time to shine. It's gonna be her time to shine. Bree Wayne says Raven doesn't score a lot, but the court vision and passing are elite. Yeah. Absolutely. 504 for life says, as an LSU fan, I feel like I like Raven a lot. She runs the team like a well-oiled machine. I hope Hailey Van Lith had those qualities at point. Bree Wayne says, even if South Carolina lose to UConn, it will be one loss compared to Iowa 2 losses. They'll stay number 1 with 1 loss. Be sure of that. Okay. Yeah, they would. Yeah, even if they lost, even if they lost against UConn, they would still be number 1. Yep. Not saying they will lose, but there is a pathway for them to lose. There's a pathway for UConn to win. There is, because there always is. And the key to them is, can you get Aalyah Edwards to go off? We're gonna do a special stream, pregame stream, like before that UConn versus South Carolina game, to talk all about the predictions for that game, and we're gonna really get into it. But yeah, there is for sure a pathway. All right. So with all of that being said, I do want to talk about K-State and the fact that K-State is they're on a little bit of a skid right now. This team was a team that was ranked number 2 in the country, and they have proceeded to lose some games. And we'll see how K-State is ranked when it comes to tomorrow, because they're a team that is talented. However, without having their best player, Ayoka Lee, on the court, it's looking a little bit rocky. It's looking a little bit rocky for K-State. So they did lose against Oklahoma the other day. They lost 66-63. They also just lost today against Texas. They lost 61-54. And this is a Wildcat team that is struggling without Ayoka Lee. They're struggling. They initially was able to win some close games. They eked out a game against Baylor. This was after Ayoka Lee was out. They beat BYU. They were able to win some games without Ayoka Lee. But now we're actually seeing, when they play against teams that get to the paint and are able to get to the paint, get rebounds and whatnot, they can't compete with that. They cannot compete with that, because Ayoka Lee really was, she really was the piece for them. She really was. And that was the reason why they got to second place. And we'll see how far they drop. We will see how far K-State drops, because Oklahoma wasn't ranked. K-State, Texas is number 12. So they'll likely go up maybe a little bit. But that game against Oklahoma, I think it's going to hurt them in the standings. They'll probably drop out of the top 10, maybe. Yeah, because without Ayoka, this team is very different than what they were with Ayoka Lee on the court. So I think I think we'll see. I think we will see how far they drop. And so I'll make sure to keep you all posted on the rankings. I've been doing a dropping a quick episode Tuesday mornings, just sort of like going through the rankings. And this week I'm going to talk about the coaches rankings as well. So yeah. JB says K-State is going through the same woes as UCLA. They need lead to win those games, at least against elite opponents who attack the basket. They're getting exposed without their anchor. Yes. Yep. K-State and UCLA are in the same boat. UCLA does not have Lauren Betts. Lauren Betts is still day to day. We will see what happens with them. Also, Ayoka Lee is going to be out for a couple more weeks. And so she should be back right before tournament play. So that is your update on those two players. But yeah, they're in a very similar, they're in the same boat basically. Michael says, what about Central Michigan and Arizona holding tryouts like TCU did? Yeah. So I am working on a segment for that on Monday's edition of Women's Basketball Weekly. I'm still trying to get I'm still doing sort of a backstory research on like how these teams got to the point that they got to, similar to the deep dive that I did when TCU first held their open tryouts. I'm going to do a similar thing for both Arizona and Central Michigan. So be on the lookout for that, Michael. All right. Robert says South Carolina defense is too strong for UConn to win. I mean, yeah, yes, they have some really good defense. But we'll see. Yes, Bree Wayne. Bree Wayne says Tyron has forgotten Hannah Hidalgo single-handedly beat UConn. She outplayed senior Paige Beckers. Yeah. Hannah Hidalgo had herself a night, and Notre Dame beat UConn several games ago. This game, as I say, there's always a pathway for a team to win. It's not likely that UConn wins at all. It's not likely at all, but they could. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I will make sure to keep you all covered with like pre and post game for that game. We'll have we'll be talking about it. So we'll be to really dive into that game. And I'm gonna walk through the keys to what I see, keys to victory for South Carolina, keys to victory for UConn, and then just sort of like we'll get you guys' opinion on what will happen in that game. Robert says, "Hey Quita, I just hit that like button. Thank you. Appreciate you, Robert." Nolan says, shout out to Aalyah Boston for making the Olympic qualifying team. A says, is the lineup for the Olympics final. So this is not the lineup for the Olympics. So I am let's actually get into that. Let's actually get into USA basketball if you all want. So let me know in the chat if you all want to just do a quick dive into USA basketball. I can tell y'all all about the players who are going to be playing this month in the qualifying tournament. And then we can also just sort of give a general look at like what exactly this tournament is and how this roster is different than the Olympic roster. So let me know real quick if y'all want me to go through that. We're just gonna do like a real quick poll. If I see a couple of yeses, then we will get into Team USA. So guys, let me know. All right, so I see one person saying yes, USA basketball. All right, so looks like we will go to USA basketball. All right, thank y'all. I do appreciate y'all taking part in these like sort of like super quick polls. I do because as we know, I do like polling and seeing what the people want. All right, so let's actually take a look at all right, yes, the democracy has spoken. We are going to get into some USA basketball. Now, here we go. So, Team USA has announced their roster for the 2024 Women's Olympic Qualifying Tournament, which is happening this month. This is happening in Belgium from February the 8th through the 11th. Now, this qualifying tournament is a thing that that USA basketball takes part in. Team USA is going to be in the Olympics in Paris come this summer, and they are trying to get their 8th consecutive gold medal. Again, eighth consecutive Olympic gold medal for Team USA. That's what they are trying to do, and we will see what happens. But in order for them to get there, they first have to go. They first want to participate in this qualifying tournament, and we will actually see that some of these players that are in this qualifying tournament, they may or may not make the actual Olympic roster. This is a time for USA basketball to evaluate players and determine, okay, who are we going to pick? Who are we not going to pick? Team USA recently had a camp that they had in New York over the last couple games, and after that camp was over, they decided on the players that they want to take to Belgium. So here are the players. So we have Ariel Atkins, we have Aalyah Boston, we have Napheesa Collier, Kahleah Copper, Rhyne Howard, Sabrina Ionescu, Jewell Loyd, Kelsey Plum, Breanna Stewart, Diana Taurasi, Alyssa Thomas, and Jackie Young. So those are the players who are going to be on the Olympic qualifying tournament team. This is not the final Olympic team. This could be, but this isn't the official Olympic team that we will see in the summer. Likely, Team USA will make a little bit of adjustments in that lineup, likely. Now, I do want to talk about this lineup because I kind of have some thoughts. About this lineup because this lineup is basically like from a post position, I'm okay with it. You have Ariel Atkins, you have Aalyah Boston, you have Napheesa Collier, and Breanna Stewart. Okay, so you got 4 post players that can do their thing. You have Alyssa Thomas is a unicorn. I don't know what to put. Like she's just Alyssa Thomas. So yeah. I think I'm not necessarily counting her as a post player, even though she basically does play a post player. She kind of just plays any position on the court. She could be the point guard. She could be the center. She could be anything. So you have 4 post players and Alyssa Thomas who can just do anything. And the thing that I have a issue with this roster is the fact that you have a lot of guards, but they're mainly all shooting guards. You have Kelsey Plum, Sabrina Ionescu, Diana Taurasi, Jackie Young, shooting guard. They're all shooting guards. You have Kahleah Copper and Rhyne Howard that could do their thing sort of like in that small forward position, but you don't have a point guard on this team. There is no point guard for Team USA. No natural point guard, I should say. No natural point guard on Team USA. And I think that is something that is not going to hurt them in this qualifying tournament, like whatever. But in the long term, in order for Team USA to be able to repeat and win another consecutive gold medal in the Olympics, you actually need a point guard. You actually need a point guard that will run the team, And that's something that we don't have right now. That is something that we do not have because, yes, Jackie Young can play point if she really needs to. Same for Kelsey Plum. Sabrina Ionescu can do it. But I would say none of them are better at point guard than they are at shooting guard. So I think that is something that, to me, is a concern for this team. The fact that they don't have a point guard. But yeah, that's something that hopefully is fixed by the time we actually hit the real Olympics and they finalize their roster. Yeah, that is something that really, really does need to be fixed. Let's see what y'all got to say. Bree Wayne says Chelsea Gray didn't make it. What? Audrey says Atkins and Chelsea are on the roster. Chelsea Gray are on the roster. No, so Chelsea Gray is not on the qualifying team roster. She's not. So this right here that you see right over here, that's the official qualifying tournament team. Chelsea Gray is not on the team. I think it's a thing of maybe Chelsea Gray isn't like fully back from her injury. I think that's a real that's a possibility. Also, maybe she just didn't want to go. Like that could be a thing. That could absolutely be a thing. That maybe she just didn't want to go because 504 for live says maybe Asia and Chelsea didn't want to go. Yeah, it's possible. Yeah. And again, this is just a qualifying tournament team. Like this is not the Olympic roster. So of all things, this isn't the biggest of deals. The fact that we don't see Chelsea Gray or A'ja Wilson on the roster. But I will say the fact that there is no point guard on this team is odd. Very, very odd. I don't get it. I really don't get it. Michael says Alyssa Thomas is unreal with 2 bum shoulders. Crazy. Yeah. Absolutely. Alyssa Thomas is one of those like odd players that just, this girl, she can bring the ball up like a point guard. She can battle in the post. She can do everything but shoot threes and shoot like long jumpers. All she got the shot put thing, but she can dribble. She can make some stuff happen. But yeah. Let's see. What else I got to say? Bree Wayne says, get Diana Taurasi out of there. For real, am not hating, but dang. Rich says, who would you take off and put on? So, I would actually take Diana Taurasi off this roster. I would. Lots of respect for her. She is, she's done so much for women's basketball. Very appreciative of it as a basketball fan. I think she's really helped to take the game to another level. However, I believe her time has come. And it's I believe it's very important to pass the torch on to another player. It's one of those things where I get it. You've had such a huge legacy with USA basketball, and that's great. But the time has come. It's important for Team USA to help elevate the next group of basketball stars. And in order for the young ones to take over and prove what they can do, the older ones have to leave. So because of that, I really do think that the person I would take off would be Diana Taurasi. The person I would put on is a point guard. So I mean, I don't know. Maybe that's Chelsea Gray. Maybe that's who am I? I'm blanking out. Maybe it's Skylar Diggins Smith or something. Yes, I don't believe she went to the camp in New York, but maybe it some point guard. Just pick a point guard in the WNBA. I think having somebody at the point guard level who is a natural point guard would have been better than Diana Taurasi. No offense to Diana Taurasi, legend, absolute legend. When she announces her retirement, I have a huge special that's going to be coming out talking about the amazing stuff that Diana Taurasi has done. Lots of respect for her, but at some point you have to let the young ones take over. You just have to do it. You have to do it. And because of that, I really do think that is a player that I would take off. Zero respect, zero disrespect for Diana Taurasi, but I would take her off the team. Yeah. Let's see. 504 says, I thought Plum was a point guard. I could be wrong. I mean, yeah, she's played point guard. Yeah, she's played point guard, but I think Kelsey Plum is her best when she's at a shooting guard position. Yes, all of the shooting guards can technically play point guard, but it's about how natural are they at it. How natural are they able to see the floor and see passes and see opportunities and lanes before they happen. That's something that natural point guards can do. Yes, shooting guards can do their best and like not stink it up, but is that your natural position? No. So I would say let's get people in their natural position, especially for a thing like Team USA, where you're not needing these ladies to play the entire game. You're not relying on one person to play the entire game. You're playing players probably maximum of like 25 minutes a game or something like that, and you're just sort of rotating around. So when you're doing that, having people in their natural positions, that allows them to be a lot more efficient when they get on the court. So that's what I will say on that. Elmira says, I wonder how many minutes Diana Taurasi is going to get. Yeah, she's probably going to get like 8 minutes a game, probably. I mean, she's not going to play a ton. KA says Gray is about to or already has become a mother, so maybe that has something to do. Yeah. KA, good point. Good point. Very, very good point. Yeah, that could absolutely be the reason why. Absolutely. And fair enough reason. Laura says Asia has her book tour, so she probably just didn't want to go. But maybe Chelsea's foot isn't doing well. Also, her family's expecting around that time. I think, yep. So, yeah, that absolutely could be the factor. Matthew says, I am not confident in Coach Reeves building the best team. Why not? Why aren't you confident in Cheryl Reeves? Let me please clarify if you can. I would love to hear your thoughts about why you're not confident in her building the best team. Because you've been with Team USA for a while, and she's been very successful with Team USA for a while. Roderick says retirement tour for Diana. Maybe this is what it is, and this is a retirement tour, or maybe she's like, hey, I feel so good, I want to come back in 2028 and play in the Olympics. Of all people who would do something like that, like Diana Taurasi, I feel could do something like that. Tyron says, please discuss, is there any truth that they're saving spot 13 for Caitlin Clark? That's what I heard. Saving a spot on this Olympic qualifying tournament team? No, because this Olympic qualifying tournament team doesn't mean a ton. So no, this isn't the actual Olympic roster. Now, if you're asking, are they do they want to save an Olympic roster spot for Caitlin Clark? I don't know. I tell you this, if they do, it would bring a lot more eyeballs to watch Team USA play in the Olympics. I'm going to just say that. But as I said previously in a live stream, if Caitlin Clark goes to the WNBA this season, which I still think she might opt in for the draft, I don't think she should go. She should play in the Olympics, because I think there is an injury concern there with like just the extra intensity of the WNBA, and add in Team USA on top of that. Yeah, she probably wouldn't play much at all. She'd probably also get like maybe 8 or 10 minutes a game, but still, I think there's an injury risk. I'm not gonna go too far and deep into that. I did do a previous I did talk about it in a previous stream, so you just go back and look at one of those and listen to my reasoning behind my point there. Nolan says, I think USA should add a little bit more size, a big spot for like Melissa. So here's the thing. I don't think Team USA needs any more bigs. I think they're perfectly fine at bigs. They're perfect. I mean, they got 4. They got 4 plus they got 4 plus Alyssa Thomas. They don't need it. They don't need any more bigs, in my opinion. They do not need a 4. Because Nafisa Collier is a 4 that can shoot. Brianna Stewart is a 4 that can shoot. And then you got Ariel Atkins and Aaliyah Boston as your centers. Like, I don't think this roster needs any more post players. I think all it needs is a point guard. I think that's all it needs. Nikki 2.0 says, stand up for DePaul transfer, scored 18 points today for state and went over. So Mississippi State beat Texas A&M. All right. Shout out to D Rogers, man. D Rogers from DePaul. Matthew said they struggled in the last Olympics and the Lynx have never replaced Moore, Augustus, or Fouls. Sure. I mean, yes, you can say that about the Minnesota Lynx. I think the Minnesota Lynx and the way that's handled is to me very different than how Team USA is handled. Team USA, it's sort of like they make decisions by committee, and it's not totally on the head coach that has the power to sort of pick a team. Whereas when it comes to the Minnesota Lynx, Cheryl Reeve is a lot more. I mean, she was the general manager, not anymore, but she's still very, very hands-on. And Minnesota actually is really building something right now. They really are. They really are building something right now. Roderick says, "How about Courtney Vandersloot to be the point guard?" No. Again, I am talking. My opinion is that Team USA needs to pass the torch to the younger generation. And yes, Courtney Vandersloot is younger than Diana Taurasi, but she's not that young, you know? So sure, that would be, yeah, sure. Courtney Vandersloot would be better in this instance than Diana Taurasi, because she is a natural point guard, and Diana Taurasi should pass the torch, in my opinion. But I would say even younger player would be even better. Yeah. So, but yeah, but Courtney Vandersloot would be better though. Ooh, now here's a thought. This won't happen, but this is just a random thought just popped in my head. What if Courtney Williams was on the roster? Not necessarily a natural point guard, but I thought she did a great job last year with the Chicago Sky. Speaking of Minnesota Lynx, she is now on the Minnesota Lynx. Cheryl Reeve has brought in Alana Smith and Courtney Williams, so she's trying to do something in Minnesota. Trying to do something. All right, guys. Let's see. 10 says, if only Taurasi and Griner spots weren't symbolic, then they would have space for younger players. I mean, Brittany Griner's not on the qualifying tournament team, so sure, it's very likely that Brittany Griner is going to be on the actual Olympic team, but she's not on the Olympic qualifying team. Why? I don't know. It could just be that she participated in the training camp that they had in New York. But it could just be like a scheduling issue, like or something where she she trained with them, but she didn't necessarily want to go overseas, or maybe they decided just to switch it up again and go for a different set of people at the post position. So Brittany Griner will not be there for the Olympic qualifying tournament team. That's not saying she won't be there for the Olympics. She likely will be there for the Olympics. SC Scout Guy says, with Camila Cardoso missing the next 2 games to play for the Brazilian team, I hope South Carolina can take Missouri and UConn. Yeah, that'll be a test. And like, here's the hoping that Camila Cardoso doesn't get injured. Here's the hope, and there's been a lot of crazy injuries this year, and here's to hoping that she is healthy as she plays overseas for representing her home country of Brazil. All right, guys, I do want to see is there anything else y'all want to talk about today before we hop off the stream. Anything else y'all want to talk about? Let me know in the chat. This is a democracy of sorts. So if I see a lot of the same topic, I will talk about it. So yeah, anything else y'all want to talk about? Let's see. B Girl says, who is the tallest? I don't know. Aaliyah Boston, maybe? Also, I don't know why I said Ariel Atkins for the post position. I didn't mean Ariel. Ariel Atkins is a guard, not a post player. I think Aaliyah Boston may be the tallest person. There. She's 6'5". Yeah, I think Aaliyah Boston is the tallest. Let's see. Is there a consensus or no? Mia says Griner, Wilson, and Gray aren't available. ESPN didn't mention why. Tyron says, I think this is the team. They can't have too much old women on one team. They need players in their prime. Yeah. Also, Mia saying Oregon is playing Oregon State happening right now. Ooh, I have not been. I don't actually have the games up on the side here, so I am missing that game. Let me try to see what's going on. So Oregon State is beating Oregon at the half, so it's 30-25. Auburn is playing Arkansas right now. JB says, I think Angel would probably benefit the most from of the big names if she stayed another year for developmental purposes. I agree. Her passing is there. I think her ability to sort of just dominate on the boards is there. I think she just needs more of a shot of a jumper is what I'm saying. I think that would really help. That would really help her development. Matthew is asking, will the FIBA games be televised? I actually am not sure. I am very sorry. I do not know. I do not know if those games will be televised or not. Yeah, I'll look into it. I'll look into it and I'll let you know. I'll look into it. All right. So I don't think there's a consensus of stuff that people want to talk about. So, SC Scout guy says Dawn sounded upset that Alicia Gray did not make the national team in her post game today. Oh, okay. I'll listen to the full thing. I'll listen to the full thing and talk about it. I will listen to the full thing and talk about it. All right. Anything else y'all want to talk about? Kyra says I was late to the chat. Did you already comment on what Michael Porter Jr. said about the WNBA? I did not. I did not talk about that. I'm still trying to decide on if I want to talk about it in like a live, or if it's better to just sort of like produce a separate video to talk about it. I have thoughts, but I don't know. Yeah. I guess I could talk about it. So here's the thing. Actually, no. I'm gonna do a separate video about it. I'm gonna play like the clip, like the audio version of the clip, not the video version of the clip, and I'm gonna like talk about each part of what he said and just sort of like break it down and just sort of talk about how like what he said is not new, right? Like it's I'm sure there's a lot of people who think the same way. Like I mean it just sort of is what it is. I think it's important for us to not necessarily rely on NBA players to back and support the WNBA and all this other stuff. Yeah, I can do a separate video about it. I don't think it's that huge because I don't know why it feels like a lot of times we feel like NBA players have to help champion the WNBA. And I say why? Because if you start to do that, then you end up having end up with conversations like the one that Michael Porter Jr. Had with the Pivot and Ryan Clark. I think what we need to do as women's basketball fans is just support the game we love, and if people want to hop on board, great, but not necessarily to expect NBA players to support or help to elevate the game, because like I mean, do they actually watch? Yes, his family. He has women in his family that are big when it came to basketball. Like they were great players when they played. Like he has women in his family like that. But that doesn't necessarily mean that he watches and or cares about the WNBA and or understands what WNBA players are actually asking. So those are my initial thoughts about it. I will just make a separate thing. I'll make a separate segment about it. I'm still trying to figure out if I should include it in Monday's episode of Women's Basketball Weekly. But yes, I do have thoughts. But I also just think that in general, like we should just whatever, man. Like, just, like yeah. I don't think it's worth it to get all bent out of shape about it, because like, did he ever say he liked women's basketball? Did he? Yes, he's rocking some Stewies, but like, did he ever say he listened and understood what players were asking for and all this other stuff? Probably not. Like, I don't know. Like I'm not as there's I was like seeing a lot of people like really upset about it, and I'm not as upset because I'm also just like, well, why do we totally care? Like, when did I don't know. Anyway, I'll say that for maybe tomorrow's episode of Women's Basketball Weekly. But yeah, I think as W fans, I think we just need to not necessarily worry about all like the people who don't like the sport and whatnot. Like whatever, man. Like do you like like okay, you don't like it. That's fine. There's people who hate bowling. There's people who hate the PGA. You know, whatever. That is not for you. That's okay. That's okay. You know, but I don't know. I think sometimes I think we put too much stock into what NBA players have to say about certain stuff when it comes to like the WNBA and whatnot. Like, and in reality, who cares? I don't know. Okay, I will do a separate thing about it. But just to speak on it a little bit, that those are my thoughts. I mean, I think for those who are like super upset about it, I mean, I wouldn't get that upset about it. I mean, whatever. Like people are gonna say what they want to say, and that's okay. Like you can't regulate what other people say. He doesn't want. He likely does not watch WNBA. He likely doesn't watch women's basketball, and you know whatever. That's fine. But that's why he said what he said. You know, he probably isn't super tuned in to what the players have been demanding for with in terms of pay, in terms of a lot of other stuff. So whatever. Like, all right. So yeah, those are my thoughts. I'm gonna have a separate thing about it where I'll dive into it. But I mean, it's fine. Like, not everybody's gonna like women's basketball. Not everybody's gonna like the WNBA or support the WNBA. It is what it is, you know. And I get it, you know, and people are upset about it and all that stuff. But there's also, I guarantee you, there's also a ton of women who think the same way that Michael Porter Jr. Said. You know, yeah, he's a dude, and I saw a lot of people that were upset about what he said because he's a dude. But it's also like, okay, well, there's a lot of women who feel the same way. I'm just saying. Anyway, that's Michael Porter Jr. I will talk more about it in a future video. But yeah, those are my thoughts about it. It is what it is, guys. We are women's basketball fans, so like we should, you know, not saying that you guys in particular are getting all bent out of shape, but I've seen a lot of commentary about it. And it's just like, whatever, man. Let's just love the game that we love, and like if people don't want to rock with it, so be it. Like so be it. Whatever. All right. So those are my thoughts. Those are my thoughts. Anyway, guys, we have been on here for an hour and 47 minutes. That's a long time. So, I do want to say thank you all so much. So much for watching and rocking with me and whatnot. I see Goodness Rated says you didn't answer my question. Who is Draymond Green? Draymond Green, none shooting behind, but what? What was your original question? Goodness Rated. Let's see. Goodness Rated said Draymond. I'm not gonna demean NBA players. He is not bending over for anyone. Draymond Green, he's not the best shooter in the world, but he's a very talented basketball player. Absolutely is, and has been critical, absolutely critical to Golden State becoming a dynasty of sorts. Draymond Green brings a lot of intangibles to the game, and I've watched a lot of Draymond Green play over the years. Yes, he's not going to score a bunch of points at all, but he's gonna rebound the ball. He's gonna be a facilitator. He's going to be the emotional heart and soul of the team. and he is a player that has helped them win a lot. So I am goodness rated. I do appreciate your comment, but I will not participate in that. He is not bending over for anyone to get paid. He is a very talented player in his own right, even if he does not score. So I will not participate in that. All right. So JB says, I think in large part, Michael Porter Jr.'s comments was rooted in ignorance. I assume he doesn't watch the WNBA, and he just I assume he doesn't watch the WNBA, and he just wasn't the person to have the conversation with. Yeah, JB. Yep. Yep. Country says, if I'm not mistaken, Porter Jr.'s sister played ball at Mizzou. I think so. She played in the NCAA somewhere. Yeah. All right, guys. That is the stream. Is there anything else y'all want to talk about? If not, we will head out. I do really appreciate you all so much. I think that these live streams that we do is really fun. It's a great opportunity for us to connect and sort of talk about women's basketball in real time. I do want to eventually try to do some sort of call in or video thing or like something where I can like actually verbally hear y'all. So I am working on that because I think that'll be even funner than just reading you all's messages. But I do appreciate y'all. Check out Monday's edition of Women's Basketball Weekly. Let's see. Okay, so we got some last minute stuff. B Girl 211214 says, do you believe that there are true bigs in the WNBA? Some think there aren't anymore. I mean, you could just look at Dallas and see, and you see that they're, Tierra McCowan is a true big. She is. A true big is a big that can't really do other things, but be down low and sort of like rock there. You have Tierra McCowan, you have Kalani Brown, you have who else? You have Aaliyah Boston, kind of. You have. There's a couple. There's a couple. I can't. I mean, yeah. There's a couple. Not a ton. Not a ton. Michael says, you go live on Thursday, Notre Dame versus. Probably. I'll probably go live on Thursday. Probably. I will let you all know. I will confirm on Thursday morning. But I will likely go live on Thursday. Yes. I'll likely go live on Thursday and Friday for another edition of Awesome People of the Internet Friday Hangout. All right. I do appreciate all y'all who joined in for Friday's edition of the Friday Hangout. Mia says, don't read that, Quita. Dead. A lot of times I'm reading comments and I'm processing as I'm reading it. I probably shouldn't have read that out loud, but yeah. Anyway. B Girl says, other than Dallas, I mean, it's kind of hard to find. Other than Dallas having like true big men in the WNBA, yeah, I think it's hard to find outside of Dallas. But I do appreciate y'all. Thank y'all so much. I do. Appreciate y'all rocking with me. I hope that you guys are subscribed to the channel. If you're not, please subscribe. I make content all about women's basketball because this is what we do here. We talk about women's basketball because this is my favorite sport. I like the way to dribble up and down the court. Anyway, all right. Until next time, guys, you all rock. I hope you all have a great rest of your Sunday. Have a great start to your day on Monday, y'all. And I will see y'all back here soon. Until next time, guys. Bye-bye.